DT amplifies Dr. Jan Halper Hayes, who claims in a Truth Social post that suggests the Space Force has evidence of 2020 selection fraud. Yeah. She said DT knew if he presented any of the goods early on, we'd have a civil war. So yeah, I don't know who this lady is. She's a U.S. political analyst. And yeah, this is news to me. I haven't heard of this one before. In a recent post on social media platform Truth Social, former President DT quietly confirmed the analysis and comments made by Dr. Jan Halper Hayes during a recent interview. Halper Hayes, a former global vice president of Republicans overseas, UK, made headlines with her statements during an appearance with a British morning news show called Breakfast with Stephen and Ellie. Halper Hayes pushed back against the widely held belief that DT's case is based solely on political conspiracy theories, arguing that there are significant questions about election integrity that require attention. She further contended that the current indictment has inadvertently given DT a platform to present his case and expose possible election irregularities. During the interview, Halper Hayes claimed to be part of a Department of Defense task force, asserting that Space Force and evidence proving the fraudulent nature of the 2020 election. According to Halper Hayes, DT had chosen not to disclose such evidence early to prevent civil unrest, believing it could lead to a civil war. In quotes, she says, I sit in a task. Let's just watch what she has to say. Okay, we'll go play that. Well, let's just read this. I sit in a task force for the DOD. I see the things. Yeah, we'll play the video. It's down here. Okay. Holy crap. How long is this? Jeez. Oh yeah, thanks for the blank ad again, Rumble.
Digital dollar.
If you're wondering why no one's buying ads on your websites, because we don't see anything. It doesn't work. Okay. Oh, that's a 10-minute clip. Good lord. Let's see. Wow, that's a long piece, huh? Let's just get through this. Here we go. I sit on a task force of the DOD, and the thing is, they've got the goods. And DT knew that if he presented any of the goods early on, we'd have a civil war, and he really felt that the people needed to see how bad it could get. The thing is, think about Edward Snowden and all the information he had. Think about the fact that our military and DOD Space Force, if you think that they don't have the actual real results of the election, then you're fooling yourselves. Interesting. The U.S. Space Force is a branch of the U.S. military that was established by DT. Its creation was officially enacted by signing the National Defense Authorization Act of 2020 on December 20th of 2019. Its mission is to organize, train, and equip space forces in order to protect the U.S. and allied interests in space and to provide space capabilities to the joint force. Dr. Halper Hayes further delved into the Executive Order 13848, enacted by DT on September 12th of 2018, arguing that it was designed to combat foreign interference in U.S. elections with a focus on the 2020 elections. Now, let me say something about the 2020 election, is that Biden is the legitimate president, but he's the legitimate president of what is now the bankrupt U.S. corporation and was okay, this is stupid. This is stupid. I've heard of this stupid conspiracy theory before. I don't know why DT would retweet this. Guys, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Is this true then? You gotta be kidding me. You're saying that the U.S. is a bankrupt corporation? This sounds a lot like all those other it's a corporation. It's been sold to Australia. I don't know, man. I have a feeling DT didn't watch this video. Hold on. This is a little silly. Now let me see something about the 2020 election. Is that Biden? Halper says Biden is a legitimate president, but he's the legitimate president of what is now the bankrupt U.S. corporation, and that was a treaty in 1871, and known as the Treaty of Washington. Wasn't? Yeah, she's repeating the conspiracy theory that was going around in like 2020. Oh, the real king of England is some fucking Thomas guy or whatever the hell he was, who's living in Australia right now. Like, what the hell? I think this is a trash article. Who posted this? Jim Hoft? Let's get, this has got to be a guest contributor. Let's get the bottom real quick. That's weird, man. Former National Security Advisor of the U.S., Mike Flynn, responded to Truth Social's the Truth Social post saying, "Such a clear presentation of what we're facing and what will likely happen." Did you guys watch the video? So you're saying that the Republic is fake, is what you're saying. Let's fight for the Republic that's fake. What the hell? Okay, well, this dropped at a really weird time. I'll tell you that much. Let's see. In the Treaty of 1871, also known as the Treaty of Washington, was an agreement between the U.S. and the U.K. The two nations were aiming to settle disputes that had lingered since the American Civil War. Yeah, but they're shit now. We don't have to follow that bullshit. Fucking tear it up. Kick them out. Who cares? The Brits are getting ass raped by migrants. Who cares? She continued, well, on September 12th of 2018, DT created an executive order within that he outlined in future elections any kind of foreign or domestic interference specifically for the 2020 election. So we say, how did we know some of these things were going to happen? Election integrity on both sides of the aisle is tough. It's really tough, but what this has done is it opened the door for DT to present his case. Okay, but he's been denied the opportunity to present his case as many times as possible, other than this Jack Smith situation, right? Halper Hayes also suggests that Trump had signaled his intent to dissolve the U.S. corporation and return the country to its original state as a republic during the meeting with the Queen of England. She claimed that this move led to a substantial transfer of gold from the Vatican Bank. Fucking, this is crazy, man. Dr. John Halper said they made fun of him because they assumed he broke protocol and walked in front of the Queen. No, if you go back and look at it, you will see he looked at her. She gave him a wave with her hand. He proceeded. She took a couple of steps. He stopped and he waited for her to join. That was an optic to tell us that he then was going. This sounds way too freaking conspiracy theory for me. I'm like not interested in this. I'll finish this article, but good Lord, this is probably not going to make it on my YouTube channels, by the way. And the U.S. that's so in other words, the people who are saying, "Oh, Trump walked in front of the Queen. He's the boss now." They're all wrong. They're all wrong. Essentially, what this is saying, DT is saying that they are all wrong. Wow. So all those conspiracy channels that said DT took the walk in front of Queen Elizabeth and he's the boss now, the new boss in town. Yeah. So DT is essentially confirming that they're wrong. That's interesting, right? Because the same channels were also pushing these same things. So I'm like, So they're saying that was an optic. We are paying back. Forget this Tea Party. Well, hold on. Say that he waited her to. This was an optic to tell us that he then was going to bankrupt the U.S. corporation because it was the Vatican, the Crown, and the U.S. that was part of that, and the U.S. that was part of since 1871, and we were giving you our tax dollars. We are paying back. Forget this Tea Party. And without taxation, without well, okay, but we ended up sending all of it to Ukraine. Are you kidding me? We owed you a lot of money because you helped us in the Civil War. And so that is what Trump, he told the Queen, I'm ending this. We're dissolving this corporation. We're going to go back to a republic and we're all being separate. We'll all be separate. The Pope wasn't happy. You should find a picture of him visiting the Pope. Yeah, I remember that one. It took 650 planes to remove our gold from the Vatican Bank. Host Stephen Dixon then responded, I'm not very happy about it, Jan. To be perfectly honest, we could do with your money at the minute. Keep it flowing, I say. On Sunday, Trump quietly backed Dr. John Halper, claims in a Truth Social post. In quote says, Dr. Jan Halper Hayes is fantastic. Everyone has got to watch her interview on election fraud with the poor sap who got taken apart by her. Thank you, Dr. Jan, for putting this masterpiece out to the public. Witch hunt. Did you watch the video? Good Lord. And then we got Michael Flynn also responded to it, saying such a clear presentation of what we're facing and what will likely happen. This is on GB News. I don't know what to think of it. I'm not interested, I'll tell you that much. I'm like, oh really? So in other words, a country that we owe a bunch of money to, we're just gonna let them get ransacked by migrants? They're just gonna let themselves get. Why are we paying back a country that's just getting ransacked by migrants? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. This completely sounds like disinformation to me. I had no idea why they're retweeting this or entertaining this idea.